Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going through my summer seasonal color palette blushers. If you're unfamiliar with what is seasonal color palettes, it's where we take the different seasons that we experience in our physical year and break them down into color palettes. So summer colors are the cool undertone to neutral cool undertone colors, and they tend to have a lower level of saturations, meaning they have a little bit more gray than a true clear color. Everything in this video is going to be all of my blushers, cream, liquids, and powders, cover the gamut of seasonal color palette blushers for the summer color palette. And summer color palettes can be broken down into light or bright summer, cool or true summer, or soft muted summer. We've got a lot to cover. I want to say I have like 40 blushes, but in my soul, I know that is a gross underestimate. We will find out just how many pink mauve blushers I have. So let's just jump into my cool toned blush collection. So up first, I have one from Shiseido. This is the Inner Glow Cheek Powder in Floating Rose 03. I believe this color was one I saw in a Dream Wardrobe summer style book. I would say a neutral, cool, depending on your skin tone, it could pull more warm blusher. This is really lovely for bright, clear winter or light or bright summer. I feel like it's a little too bright to be a soft muted or a deep dark. Hey friends, I noticed within the first 20-ish minutes, sometimes when I'm talking about a product, the swatch is not in frame. I was using my previous form of setting up for the swatch videos, and I found a way to feed what my camera's recording into another source, and that really improved what everyone's seeing on the video. So be patient. The descriptions I'm giving you are accurate as far as the colors, but the swatches themselves you might not see until 2 or 3 blushes later. So just a little side note. I hope you enjoy. One of my new favorite things is purple blusher. Purple blusher is really popular within East Asian beauty as they are great expanding shades. They help to do a little bit of color correction. They add this nice firm plumpness to this inner portion of the face. This is from the brand called The Same. This is the single blush, and this is in PP01. Beautiful milky lilac shade. This does have a strong white base, so this means it's going to have a little bit of a brightness to it. This is definitely going to do best for your bright or clear color palettes. Now, I feel like this is such a cool tone. It could also work well for cool true winter or cool true summer. This is from Wake Make. I don't know if these are still around or not, but they are such really lovely formulas. Number 3 Delight Lavender. And this is a really lovely muted rosy lavender. Like, it's going to be a lot softer than the other two. It almost has this grayish quality, which I think is really beautiful. I feel like any summer color palette could work with this. I feel like it might be a little too muted, a little too soft for winter, unless you're a winter and you're going to do a very bold eye look. I feel like I want to sort this into my soft muted summers. Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Divine Blush in the shade Divine Rose. This is a really lovely formula, but I just never think to reach for it. There's a gray undertone coming out in this one. Off the bat, this feels very cool, true summer, soft muted summer. I feel like it's a little too gray for bright or light, but you know, if you need a neutral, it could work. I'm going to put this again with my cool summer, muted summer. Etude Lovely Cookie Blusher, and this is in the shade PP502 Lavender Lemon Macaron. They're such little cute blushes. This, especially compared to that lavender up there, this is a lot more muted. And this is almost gonna pull off like a pinky lavender gray. On my skin, it's almost pulling off white. This definitely feels a lot more muted than the purple blush by The Same. I'm gonna put this in my soft muted blush section. Reformulated blushes from Roman, and one in the box. This is their Better Than Cheek formula, and the one in the box is Blueberry Chip, which I also had the previous formula. This color is slightly richer than the previous. It's C02 Blueberry Chip. I will never get over how silky smooth the reformulations of the Roman powder blushes are. That is so pretty. Cool or true shade. This could work well for a cool true summer. So I feel like this feels a little bit brighter and a little bit lighter than the Pat McGrath or the lavender. So I'm gonna put this in my light summer or cool summer section. W01 Odie Milk, and this is from the Milk series. Pretty pastel blusher. This almost sits right in between Lovely Cookie Blush from Etude and the lavender from the same. I'm gonna put this in my light bright. W02 Strawberry Milk. If I'm not mistaken, Strawberry Milk is the color that Roman used in the Summer Light series. Very similar to Odie Milk, but it has more of a translucent, cool pink. This go my light, cool summer selection. Uteral Nude Collection, and this is number N02 Vine Nude. A cool tone nude effect on the cheek, and this should feel slightly more muted, but if we look at this, even compared to the more grayish pink purples, this definitely feels a little bit brighter, but if we look at it in comparison to like Blueberry Chip or OD Milk or Strawberry Milk, it does feel more gray. I feel like this would do extremely well for my true cool summer or cool true winter, so I'm going to sort this with cool true summer, soft muted summers. A gorgeous drugstore favorite, we have the Revlon Powder Blush 014 Tickled Pink. Creamy powder formula. It definitely has a brightness to it. Definitely feels more of like a brighter, clear winter, but also workable for bright light summer or cool true summer. From Peri Para. This is the Pure Blush Sunshine Cheeks in number 6 Morning Blush. This is one of my favorite expanding shades. This definitely has a strong, clear undertone. This is almost a chalky pink that's really great for brightening and expanding on fair, cool tone skin. Definitely going to be a light, bright summer. It does not have enough opacity, doesn't have enough color contrast to work, in my opinion, well for a winter. So this is definitely a light or bright summer color. Another single blush from the same PP04 Blueberry Milk. This is another blush I love using as expanding shade. So I'm gonna put that down here. If we look at these two colors side by side, the Blueberry Milk from the same feels like a slightly more muted version of Tickled Pink from Revlon. So with these two being very similar, I almost feel like this would be, they would both work extremely well for a cool true summer or cool true winter, but Tickled Pink might also work well for a light summer, whereas Blueberry Milk could probably work a little bit easier for a soft muted summer. But even though looking at it, I still feel like Blueberry Milk still has a little too much white, where soft summer flourishes more in those slightly gray tones. Because if you look at it compared to Divine Rose from Pat McGrath, this feels very white based. So actually, I'm gonna put these both in my cool true summer, light bright summer section. So here is the first assortment of blushers. So I'm gonna remove these and we'll move on to my second stash. I almost wish this was a video where you could see my face, because this smile I have on my face recording these videos, I hope it comes through in my voice, because goodness, something about blush just thrills me. I mean, it just sparks with so much joy. I would take all of my blushers over an eyeshadow palette any day. So continuing on, this, I can look at this and tell this is gonna be a soft muted summer. MAC Powder Blush Matte Finish Mocha. Mocha was such a good color. This is definitely going to be a soft muted summer. Look at that. This feels already, looking at it in contrast to my skin, this definitely feels quite gray, where you can see more of that white base in my skin tone. So MAC Mocha Powder Blush Soft Muted Summer also works extremely well on deep dark winter. Ooh, Bobbi Brown Powder Blush in the shade Pale Pink. I love this color. This is a permanent color in the Bobbi Brown range. I found this at the Estee Lauder Cosmetic Company outlet for $6. In retail, these are what, $30 or $40 now? Such a good find. The color is a classic blue-based pink. Love it. This is definitely a cool true summer or cool true winter staple. Also very workable for bright clear winter or light bright summer. Pry this from my hands. I love this so much. Ooh, we have a newer one to my collection. This is the Spring Summer LeBlanc collection for 2023 from Chanel. This is called the Fantasy de Chanel Powder Illuminating Blush Powder. So pretty. You have the really gorgeous tweed pattern with the double C Chanel logo, and it's a gradient of this slightly warmer pink into this almost white gold shade. A swatch right down here. Off the bat, this has too much warmth to work for a true cool winter or true cool summer, but it has a strong white base to it thanks to that highlighter pigment in it. So that would rule it out of being a soft muted summer or a deep dark winter. So this is gonna go into my light summer, and it would also work really well for a bright clear winter. This is another gorgeous blush that I found in a duty free. This is the Lancome Blush of Till in number 330 Power of Joy. I have only ever found this on duty free free and on Selfridge's website. Locally, I have not found this anywhere, but if you can find this and you love a cool toned pink blush, this is gorgeous. Power of Joy is a really great color for a true cool winter or true cool summer. You can see it definitely feels more pink compared to pale pink from Bobbi Brown, and it has a little bit more of a sheerness to it. If you were going to put one of these over the other into like summer versus winter, I feel like pale pink would be a little bit more winter, whereas the Lancome Power of Joy would be a little bit more summer, but they're very interchangeable. And if you're looking at them technically, if you look at the temperature, Power of Joy is going to be more neutral, meaning it has a little bit more warmth than the Bobbi Brown pale pink. So this is going to go into my cool true summer light summer selection. Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Sublime Flush. This is a warm apricot pink with a lavender vein, and oh my goodness, this is one of the most beautiful pinks. If you are someone who loves the idea of wearing coral but you struggle to wear coral, try this color. It is going to be too warm for a cool true summer, but if you are, I would say, definitely a light bright summer or a soft muted summer who wants a pop of color on the cheeks, try this out. And same, if you are a bright clear winter, this would also do really pretty as a subtle blush. Gucci Luminous Matte Blush in number 1 Silky Rose. This is a warmer peach pink, and if you look at it compared to the Hourglass Sublime Flush, this feels more muted. If I sorted the Hourglass Sublime Flush as a light bright summer, I would sort Silky Rose as a soft muted summer, because you can look at the two colors and see where Silky Rose has a little bit more of a gray base compared to the strong white base in the Sublime Flush. So I'm going to move the Gucci Silky Rose to my soft muted blush section. But that being said, I would say if a light summer wanted to wear this color, it would look gorgeous. Same for deep dark winter or bright clear winter. One of my favorites, such a classic formula, L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Blush. This is shade C3-4 Tender Rose. Now this is a fascinating formula because with a brush, it picks up so easily, but when you try to swatch it with your finger, it's just very subtle and you have to continuously build. But with a nice brush with a little bit of a stiffness to it, it applies like a dream. This is a really gorgeous, cool toned blush. This is perfect for a soft muted summer, but it also looks really beautiful for cool true summer. I feel like this might be a little too muted for cool true winter, but for a subtle everyday blush, if you're going to wear a statement eye or statement lip, this could also work really beautifully for a deep dark winter. So I'm going to sort this with my soft muted or cool true summer makeup. And the final one from this little acrylic organizer, this is the previous formulation of the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Blush in 001 Pink. Now, I was about to order the new formula that came out when they expanded the shade range, but I saw on Temptalia, this one is rated like an A- or something, and the new formula was rated an F. And I've heard a few people say that this new formula, the color's changed and the formula's different. Like, I love this Dior Rosy Glow blush. When I wear it, it just feels like the type of blush color I get if I've been in the cold or if I did like a yoga class and I got a flush to my skin. This is a very fresh, healthy pink. And I've got this. Mine's going strong. I love it. I'm not going to stop using this so I can use one of a lesser quality. I'd rather just use it off camera in my personal life and not talk about it than talk about a product that, you know, might not be as good. Now, I can't say if this new formula is as good or not. I haven't personally tried it out. So next time I see a store, I'll give it a swatch. And if it's decent, maybe I'll pick it up so I can use it on camera again, because the Dior Rosy Glow Blush in 001 Pink is a favorite. So if this color is still around, I would try it again. Really, really beautiful. Moving on to tray number 3, I see a lot of muted blushers in here. First, we have one from 3CE, and this is the 3CE face blush in the shade City Mauve. And this is part of the Split Second collection or Split Shot collection. I'm gonna swatch this right down here. This is definitely more of a slightly neutral, leaning, warm mauve shade, and it's definitely more of a gray undertone. So this is definitely going to go into my soft muted summer palette selection. This will also do really well for a soft muted autumn. We have a blush from Tarte. This is the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Party. So Party with 3 A's. I remember when this shade was first introduced, it was a birthday present for the Sephora Beauty birthday insider gift, and it was so pretty. I went through 2 of the birthday gifts because my mom didn't like the color and gave me hers, but this is really beautiful. Neutral mauvey pink. I would say it's a little bit more on the neutral cool side versus neutral warm. Really pretty, really simple. Again, really pretty shade for, I would say, soft muted summer because it's not quite cool enough to go into true summer kind of territory. Next, I have another Amazonian Clay 12-hour blush, this time in the shade Exposed. This is one of the classic YouTube favorites. I had this many, many years ago, and then I finished it and I never purchased it again. But if you look at this shade compared to Party, it's slightly cooler, but still muted. So I feel like this is great for a soft muted summer or a cool true summer. Really, really pretty. Also, I would say very workable for cool true winter as an everyday blush if you want something a little bit more subtle, or deep dark winter. And then the Party could also do really, really well for a deep dark winter. We have the blush that I like when I use it, but I forget about it otherwise. This is from Tom Ford, the Shade and Illuminate blush in 06 Flame. The fact I forget about something from Tom Ford is deeply saddening because Tom Ford is a pricey brand. So this is the 2-pan blush. You have a lighter color, which I believe they call a cool tone baby pink, and a mid-tone rose. Swatch here. Pink shade's a little chalky, the rose shade. These are really pretty. They have more brightness compared to some of the other shades we recently swatched. I would say they're really pretty. I feel like this would, once again, this shade, the light pink, looks more of like a light summer color, whereas the rosy shade looks more of like a soft summer leaning to cool summer. I feel like I would mix them together and go for a cool summer color, but okay, I'm gonna sort this with my light into cool summer colors. I think I can swatch one more and then I need to clean my arm off. We have my only other Pat McGrath Divine blusher. This is in the shade Flirtatious, and this is a really pretty neutral beige, and it's quite muted, quite gray. This is a color I feel like would do really well for a soft muted summer or soft muted autumn. So in my muted section, this will go. NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte Blush. This is in the shade Bang Bang. Oh, that is dark, that is muted. I'm gonna say that is a soft summer color if I ever did see one. 2 from NARS. Up first, we have NARS Powder Blush in the shade Behave. Ooh, really pretty neutral seashell mauve pink. Once again, I'm gonna say that is more of a soft muted summer color. Another powder blush from NARS, this time in the shade Amour. Oh, Amour almost feels slightly warmer. Like if you look at the 2 shades side by side, I would say Amour is slightly warmer because it almost has this aspect that it's coming forward, it's coming towards you, which is characteristic of yellow undertones that pull slightly forward. I would say it's neutral. I would definitely not call this a pure warm tone, but it's like a slightly ruddy, neutral, rosy shade. So again, I'm gonna feel this is soft summer. And then I have one more NARS powder blush, this time in the shade Impassioned, and this is my favorite NARS blush. So Impassioned is right down here, and this is a cool white-based pink that feels very reminiscent of some of those lavender expanding shades from the Korean beauty blush ranges. I love this. This is definitely a staple in my light summer makeup selection as a Western option for an expanding shade. So NARS Impassioned, light summer, or a cool true summer. Next, we have some from MAC. I feel like these are all going to be soft summer. So this is MAC Matte Powder Blush in the shade Desert Rose. This is really beautiful on a medium skin tone. Yeah, so pretty. Actually, this feels a little bit more of a cool true summer, but it does have more of a gray undertone compared to something like Impassioned from NARS. So this would definitely be more of a cool true summer leaning into soft muted summer. Next from MAC, we have a sheer tone powder blush in the shade Breath of Plum. My hand looks a little rough. I don't know if I tried to depot that on my own or not. Ooh, this is cool and muted. Definitely a staple idea of a soft muted summer blush that could also work well for cool true summer. So MAC Breath of Plum sheer tone blush, really beautiful, soft summer, cool summer. Also from MAC, we have a mineralized blush. This is in the shade Sweet Enough. I believe this was one of the very first MAC cut blushes I ever purchased. This is definitely not the same one, but one I've used several times over the year. Yes, nice, neutral. Once again, it's like a seashell, nutty, warm pink. It's like a neutral warm. This is definitely falling into that soft summer category, tiptoeing into soft autumn. This definitely feels a little too warm for everything else, so I'm actually going to move move Sweeten Up into my soft autumn selection. I have another free organizer, so I can pop in some of these blushers. I saw 2 over here from Chanel, and I saw another one over the side. So we have 3 powder blushers from Chanel. There is number 68 Rose Acrin. There is number 02 Rose Bronze, and number 170 Rose Glacier. So okay, let's start with Rose Bronze number 2. This is a color I use like a blush bronzer hybrid. Rose Bronze, I'm swatched down here. You can see it almost feels a little bronzy compared to the MAC Sweeten Up, but it has this little bit of peachiness that works really well. So I really like Chanel Rose Bronze, but for me, I don't like it as a blush color. I like it as a subtle bronzer. So I'm gonna actually move this to the drawer with my bronzers in it. 68 Rose Acrin. Oh, and these are all the Chanel Jus Contrast blushes. Rose Acrin. So this is definitely going to feel a lot softer, a lot more cool toned, a lot more muted. I've still yet to find the perfect light summer Chanel blush, with the exception of the Fantasy de Chanel illuminating blush, but I would like a blush in the standard formula. Rose Acrin is really pretty, but again, this is more of a soft, muted summer blush color. And then lastly, I have number 170 Rose Glacier. And this is my most recent Chanel blush. This has a very strong pearl to it that translates quite golden, but it's fascinating because it's a cool pink blush with a golden reflect. For me, this is definitely the most light summer of the 3. This was a great color for light summer or bright clear winter, but this is gonna be the closest of the Chanel blushes I have to what I'm looking for. I would like something without the glitter, because sometimes I feel like the glitter emphasizes the texture of my pores and it's not the most flattering, but regardless, Chanel 170 Rose Glacier is really pretty for a light summer or a bright clear winter, if you don't mind some shimmer. Okay, there's not a heinous amount left. Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. I did an entire Instagram post about these blushers. If you love the baked formula of the Hourglass blush or the Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten, these are like the drugstore equivalent. They are beautiful. This is shade number 07 Cool Coral. This is my favorite shade of the range, along with, I think it's called Pinky Rose. So here is Pure Nude Baked Blush in 07 Cool Coral. So pretty, great light summer color. Who wants to wear a peach color? This is like the drugstore version of NARS Orgasm for a light summer who wants to wear peach but doesn't feel like peach works. So this is like a slightly more neutral toned peach pink. Gorgeous. Another formula I fear that is getting discontinued. The text is rubbing off. This is the Clarins Jolie Blush in shade number 3 Cheeky Rose. I've been trying to get my hands on shade 01 Cheeky Baby, but I can't find it anywhere, which makes me fear this is being discontinued. So 03 Cheeky Rose, really pretty, muted, cool, rosy pink. Really great for a soft, muted summer or cool, true summer. So this can go with my soft, muted or cool, true summer blushers. I see some more Essence blushers, so let's get them out of the way. So Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. This is 03 Goldie Cassis, and this is the very first shade I purchased because it looks purple, and it is, but it's so pretty. This is the essential purple blush with a golden reflect. Like, think about, I would say, an almost more flattering version of NARS blush in Sin that is slightly more berry than it is more of like a berry red color. And this is stunning for a soft muted summer or a deep dark winter. It's gorgeous. So again, Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in 03 Goldie Cassis. This is going into my soft muted summer blushers. Next one, I think this is the other favorite I have. Yes, 02 Pink Flush. So Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in Pink Flush. Swatchy swatch right down here. So pretty. This has some glitter. So if you don't want to wear a highlight, this is your girl. Look at that. Really pretty. Ooh, reminiscent of the Chanel Rose Glacier. A little bit more shimmery, whereas the Rose Glacier is more like a metallic sheen through all the way through. But if you like the look of Rose Glacier, but you do want something similar at a drugstore price, the Essence Pink Flush number 2, similar, and you got that same sparkle. So really pretty. This is going in my light summer blushers. The Sephora Collection Colorful Blush in 01 Shame on You, and this is a matte finish. I purchased this also during the last Sephora sale with 30% off Sephora Collection, and it's okay. It's a matte bricky rose shade, and It's just okay. It's a little bit warmer. Definitely a soft muted summer, leaning soft muted autumn. I'm just gonna move this to my soft autumn because if I leave it in my summer colors, it's never gonna use. So I'm gonna move this over to my soft autumn drawer. Another pass of blushers. Most of these ended up being my soft muted colors, so I'm gonna remove these and we're gonna move on to finishing off some more blushers. Alrighty, so let's start off this next swatch arm with a bang. One of the most underwhelming blushes I have. This is the Hermes, what is this called? Rose Hermes blush, and number 45 Rose Ombre. I remember I purchased this because I love the lipstick in Rose Ombre, and this was a very expensive blush that was very underwhelming. It's very reminiscent of something like MAC Mocha or MAC Mineralized blush in Sweet Enough. It's a muted plum mauve shade, and it's not bad. It's just for almost $100 here in Canada. I expected more, and I can't part with it because it was almost $100 Canadian dollars. So when I think about it, I use it. Other than that, it adorns my muted blush drawer. So Hermes Rose Ombre, number 45. Not worth the money, but really pretty, soft, muted summer blush color. Similar vein to Rose Ombre from Hermes, we have another Hourglass Ambient Lighting blush, this time in the shade Mood Exposure. Gorgeous plum mauve shade, slightly cooler toned than Rose Ombre, but it's just perfect. It blends out, and if I have a day where my rosacea is just flaring and my cheeks feel really ruddy, I put this color on and it just works. I love Hourglass Mood Exposure, and this is the second Mood Exposure I've purchased over the years, so definitely love this one. This is a slightly newer blush to my collection. This is a Laura Mercier Color Infusion blush in the shade Rose. This is another color I was inspired to purchase after reading through one of the Concept Wardrobe ebooks, and really pretty cool toned rose shade. This does have a little bit of a brightness to it, so if you look at this compared to like the previous two shades, this has more of that white base that comes forward to you, so these would almost be like a muted rose, where this would be more of like a light bright rose. So I'm gonna sort this with my light summer blush colors, because I feel like this is gonna be like a light summer verging onto a light spring blush color compared to verging onto an autumn color. So I just did a little bit of organizing just to keep some of the brands together. So next I have my very first Gucci blush. This is again the Gucci Eye and Cheek Powder Luminous Matte blush in the shade 05 Rosy Beige. This is through and through a soft summer, deep, dark winter color. It's pretty. Again, this is something I use more of like a bronzer, so I'm going to remove this from my blush section and move this up to my bronzer collection, because the days I want a bronzer color that has a little bit of a rosy plum tone, especially going into fall and winter, is when I'm going to reach for something like this. Next, we have my most recent Gucci blush. This is one of the new shades. This is 07 True Pink, and ooh, she's pretty. Cool tone, white base, light summer, cool summer staple going into that collection, and it's perfect. This, if I only had one Gucci blush, it would be this. Another newer blush to my collection and to the market. This is one of the new Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder Blushes, and this is number 52 Ecstasy. The color looks really intimidating in the pan, and if you get heavy-handed, it can be very intense, but if you use a fluff brush, shear it out, it's actually quite buildable. It's like the more saturated version of Gucci True Pink. So if you're looking at the two and you're sorting them, if you have to sort one into a color palette, True Pink would almost be like a cool True Summer, whereas number 52 Ecstasy from Armani would be like a cool True Winter. But this could also work as more of a statement color for a cool True Winter. So I'm going to sort this with my cool True Winter and light summer blushers, or cool True Summer and light summer or bright summer blushers. Yesterday, my phone storage, which is how I record my YouTube videos, it's completely filled up. So here we are the following day to continue on with the blush swatching of my summer color makeup collection. I do want to give a small update. Roman Mood Pebbled Nail Color in Pink Shoo Shoo, and I just don't like it. Like, it just feels very kind of meh on my nails, and it's very like patchy and uneven in color. And this is the first color from Roman that I've had do this. So sadly, this is like a not such a hot product for me, which is sad, but the packaging's cute. So yesterday I was cut off when talking about the Laura Geller Bait Blush in Brighten. So I have the shade Pink Buttercream and I have shade Sunlit Rose. So let's start off with Pink Buttercream. Cream because this was the first one I added to my collection. Pretty shade, and I remember I found out about this blush through a YouTuber I really enjoyed named Sarah Hubler. She had some of the best recommendations, and I've actually got her YouTube channel pulled up here on my iPad. She hasn't uploaded in quite a while, like her last video was 2 years ago, but she had some really, really great suggestions, and who knows, maybe at some point in the future she will make more videos. But Sarah Hubler had some really great fair skin makeup recommendations. This shade is Pink Buttercream from Laura Geller, and looking at this color, it's not a completely muted pink shade, but it's kind of in that verge. So I would say this color, it does have a fleck of warmth to it. That will become more obvious once we compare it against Sunlit Rose. This is definitely pulling a lot cooler in color temperature compared to Pink Buttercream. I feel like Pink Buttercream, it's just a fraction too warm to be suitable for a true cool summer. So I'm gonna place Pink Buttercream with my soft muted summer blushes, Sunlit Rose with my light or bright summer blushes, or my cool true summer blushes. One of my favorite blush formulas, the Clinique Cheek Pop blushers, 2 in the original form, and I have 1 of the Cheek Pop Pearl blushers. Let's start off with the original Cheek Pop shade 14 Heather Pop, which is a shade I reach for quite a lot. This is just a really beautiful muted pink. I find this isn't too warm, it's not too cool, it's a nice neutral. I feel like it looks cooler than Pink Buttercream from Laura Geller, but it looks warmer than the Sunlit Rose. So for me, this is a nice one. I feel like it's great for as a muted blush on a light summer, or as a more everyday color on a soft summer. So I'm going to sort this with my soft summer blushers, just because I feel like if I look at the 3 together, this feels more muted than the brighter pink. Next, I have number 15 Pansy Pop, and this is a gorgeous purple shade. Actually, I would say it's more violet than purple. So pretty. This just has a really beautiful flush, and I feel like this is an essential color for a true cool summer or true cool winter. And I also like it a lot for creating some bright summer looks or light summer looks, because it just adds a nice brightness to the cheek. Next, I have a Clinique Cheek Pop Pearl. This is number 06 Garnet Pop. Really pretty. This is quite muted and almost murky. This looks gray almost compared to the previous shades we've swatched. And this does have a little bit of a pearlescence to it, which makes it feel a little bit more sheer, but you can see it builds up so beautifully. Definitely going to be a cool, true summer color, leaning into a soft, muted summer blusher. Now, one of my favorite products, and if you can see yourself in the mirror, hi, this is one of my favorites. This is a Clinique blushing blush in the shade Iced Lotus. I still have the little brush in here because you never know when you might need them for a travel situation. This is number 114, and I'm gonna swatch right down here. Look how beautiful that is. This is so beautifully cool tone, but it has a nice brightness to it, which I feel like works extremely well for light summer or true cool summer. When I wear this color, it just makes me feel like my cheeks have come alive. And if we look at it, it's about the same depth of color as Garnet Pop, but that more white base compared to the more gray base that Garnet Pop has just really helps to bring Iced Lotus forward. So this is a great one I'm gonna sort into my light bright summer or my true cool summer blushers. We have an oldie but a goodie. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Satin Blush. This is shade number 410 Rosewood. I've had to scrape it a bit, and it is getting really hard to pick up color. I love this formula. When it's fresh and new, it does really well. But if you work with it, you can blend, you can pick it up, but it's just not picking up like it used to. So I've got a lot of other blushes. I feel like I've had it for right about that 24-month shelf life. If I was to sort this into my seasonal color analysis blush collection, I would put the shade 410 Rosewood as a soft muted autumn or soft muted summer blusher. We have another Tarte blush, and I used this in a video recently. I used this as part of my true cool summer blush video or makeup video. This is the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Blushing Bride. Beautiful, cool, berry pink shade. This is definitely a beautiful, true cool summer, true cool winter shade, but it does have a little bit of brightness, which I feel like it works really well for a light summer makeup look, especially if you have more of a medium skin tone. This is gonna be a really beautiful shade. So that is Tarte Blushing Bride. 2 more powder blushes, and then these little trays will be free and clear. These are both Bobbi Brown powder blush singles. I have Sand Pink and I have Desert Desert Pink. Let's start off with Desert Pink. Really beautiful color, and I've used this quite a bit on my channel. This is very reminiscent of something like Tarte's Blushing Bride, but it feels more muted. I feel like this color is a beautiful statement color on the cheeks for a true cool summer, but I use it a lot as a subtle rosy bronzing shade. Not that it's going to make me look tanned and bronzed, but something about this shade applied very, very lightly, spread thinly. It gives me like this post sun exposure rosy flush. I really like this. I feel like this is workable for any seasonal color palette that is in the winter or summer seasons. I'm gonna keep this with my cool light summer blushes, and that's just because I know I will reach for it more often, and this is one of those colors I definitely don't want to get lost in my shuffle. Then we have Sand Pink. Sand Pink is a fascinating color because compared to Pale Pink and Desert Pink, which are the same formula, this formula or the powder of this shade is a little bit stiffer, so you have to work with it to build it up. But compared to Desert Pink, Sand Pink just has a little bit of a brighter quality to it. So actually, I'm gonna put Sand Pink in my cool summer, light summer stash, and then I'm gonna put Desert Pink in my cool summer, soft summer stash. Here I've got a few blushers that I have not used, well, with the exception of the Jaclyn Cosmetics Blush and Bronzing Duo. This is the shade Lilac Love and Top Tan. I wanted this thing for so long. I took it with me on a few trips, but I found the packaging was just a little bulky, and I only ever wanted to use the blush shade. I didn't really have a huge opinion on the bronzer color, so I'm just gonna put those right here. Bronzer is a little too peachy for any summer season, and the blush shade is pretty, but I feel like you could use something like Clinique Ice Lotus. It's gonna be a little bit deeper, a little bit richer, but it's going to just sit easier on the skin. This is something I've got in my collection I don't use, and I have a friend who I think will really enjoy this, so I'm going to pass along this Jaclyn Cosmetic Duo to a friend. So now I've got a handful of blushers that I have not opened up yet. These are things I've this recently come into my collection that I still need to review, take pictures of. So we might do a little bit of swatching, but I don't want to mess up any embossing, so they're still pretty. So this is a 3CE New Take Face Blusher in the shade Pink Youth. I really love this kind of shiny bubble packaging. It's giving me Y2K feelings. Blue, cool toned pink, which has a strong white base. This is gonna be a great light summer or true cool summer blusher shade. So I'm gonna sort this over there. So I have another Roman blush, but this time it's still in the box. And if I'm not mistaken, this is warm tone. So this is probably a sneak preview for someone else. This is the Better Than Chicken N01 Nutty Nude. This is also from the Mutual Nude collection. I think this is the warm toned option. So if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a more autumn shade. Yeah, that looks quite muted, quite autumnal as far as colors, but let's swatch it just for the heck of it. That could be a really nice expanding shade for, I feel like, a soft muted autumn for a light spring or a soft spring. Okay, that's really pretty. I'm gonna sort this into my autumns, and we will see this again when I do my autumn collection in the autumn. Look how cute this Peri Para blush is. I love the Peri Para blush formula. I cannot read any of this, unfortunately. The shade is called Pastel Lavender, and this is the Pure Sunshine Blush Cheeks. So let's take a look at this color together. Look at the cute little packaging, clear acrylic, and then you have the cute little bunny embossed. I really don't want to swatch this because it is a limited edition, and honestly, even though it's limited edition, I bought it because it was cute. So we have another lavender blush. Oh, this one is quite icy. This almost feels like a blue-gray lavender compared to almost like the pinky lavenders that we've seen. This is definitely going to fall more into that true cool summer as far as a lavender. Since it does have such a strong white base, I'm going to sort this with my light summer or cool summer selections. I have a Too Faced Cloud Crush Blurring Blush. This is the shade Candy Clouds. Look how cute this is. This reminds me of the Gucci bronzer. And the shade Candy Clouds is a cool toned blue based paint. So pretty. This is a very velvety formula. I have used this once because I picked it up last time I was in Virginia because Sephora had a sale. This is an interesting formula. It builds up very quickly, but the first layer, it almost looks a little patchy, but as you continue to blend, buff, and smooth, it spreads out, it distributes itself, and it blurs the skin. So the name is quite accurate. This is really, really beautiful. There's another pinky shade in this range that I would really love to try out. but clearly, do I need more blush? No. Will I buy more? Absolutely. I want to talk about these, but we've got two single blushers here. These are both from bareMinerals, and these are two of the three shades of the bareMinerals Pinterest collection. I feel like since I'm looking at these, so here are all three of the bareMinerals Pure Sunshine Cheek blushers from the Pinterest collection, which came out last spring. In my collection, I already had 12 and 13, but shade 11 I have sorted with my autumn shades because shade 11 is going to be more of a warm tone pink. So number 11 is called, I think it's called Picnic Pink. Yes, this is Picnic Pink. So pretty. Embossing on it says, I cheer for your everyday moment. So Pure Sunshine Cheek, number 11, Picnic Pink, really pretty, warmer pink. Next we have number 12, which is going to be Sunny Pink. Ooh, this is really pretty. This is gonna be a lighter, more of an expanding shade. We have shade number 13, which is called Nice Pink. So here is number 13, Nice Pink. So pretty. bareMinerals Pinterest blush in 11, 12, 13. Technically, I feel like this could still work for a light summer because light summer is going to be a neutral cool tone palette. But I feel like this does pull slightly warmer than the other color, so I'm going to continue to sort this with my light spring. I'm going to keep shades number 12 and 13 with my light spring, with my light summer, or my light or my cool summer blushers. Now I have a stack of a newer K-beauty brand. I don't know if it's new all around or if it's just newer to me, but this is the brand Zack. They have these really cute 4-color blush palettes. So this is called the Zack Blending Mood Cheek in Violet Knit. So I really like the unit carton, how it kind of opens up to present it, and it continues with that kind of sweater knit pattern in here. So here is Violet Knit. You have 4 colors. So in here we have 3 solid colors and we have 1 which is like a mix. So I'm going to start with the top 2 and then move my way down. So top left color, really pretty. It's like a nice light muted pink, but it's almost like a white gray base compared to a pure white base, which I feel like would be a really nice muted expanding shade. I'm just gonna try to take this without mixing it too much. So second shade on the top row, actually, okay, I'm gonna have to mix that a little bit more. Oh wow, that shade has more of a punch than expected. It's really pretty. Soft, muted. It's almost like a burgundy berry shade, almost like a boysenberry. Really pretty. Has a little bit of a warmth. I think that's in part to that kind of peachy shade of the Argyle pattern. Next we have the lavender. Oh wow, compared to some of the other lavenders that I've swatched today, that feels very vibrant. And then we have the pink. Ooh, wow. For K-beauty blushers, these have quite a bit pigment. Oh wow, this Violet Knit. It has more pigment than I was expecting, but it's muted. This is definitely going to be a great colorful palette for, I would say this is going to lean more soft muted summer or cool true summer. Cool true summer, the only shade I would say avoid is going to be the Argyle shade up top, but the other 3 shades would work really beautiful. And then this shade up here, I feel it leans a little bit more into the soft muted summer or the deep dark winter spectrum because it is quite muted. So that is the Zack Mood Blending 4-color blush in Violet Knit. Pulling out a new piece of furniture for the setting. I have this like little bin I purchased years ago at Real Canadian Superstore. So I just keep this in my light summer or cool summer makeup drawer. And I use this to sort new products that I need to take pictures of and review. So I'm just going to go ahead and take anything that is in the box that needs to have a picture taken, sort it in here. Actually, I want to sort that right there. Oh, that's taller than that. That will work. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. Okay, much better. So next I have another 4-color blush palette from Zack. This is in Blueberry Sorbet. I have used this in a recent video. If I'm not mistaken, I think I used this in my light summer video. And this has more of a baked look to it. So these shades, I can tell you right off the bat, these have a higher concentration of white compared to the Violet Knit. So top left shade, soft white based pink, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. This just feels very bright white based pink. It's like 4 color variations of a very similar tone despite looking a little bit more different in pan. I like this with the exception of the bottom left shade. I feel like you've got 3 expanding shades with being like warmer, more neutral, and then cooler. So I really like this. This is something I'm sort with my cool summer, light summer blushers, but first it needs to have its picture taken. Then we have the first Zack 4-color palette I purchased, and I've used this so delicately delicately because I don't want to ruin it. This is the Berry Smoothie 4-color blush palette. And look how cute this is. So the inside, you have this really cute berry print, and it says, a collection that has freshness and sweetness of pink berries. And look at this. Look at the strawberry. Look at the strawberry. So cute. So we have the top color, another white base paint. I'm gonna very carefully swatch the top right. That one really doesn't show up too much, but it's okay. Probably not gonna reach for it because I don't wanna run the cute embossment. So there is the berry paint. This definitely has more of that berry quality to it than the other two, because if you look at them all together from Dayseek and the 4-color blush palettes, if I had to sort these, I would say the Violet Knit is best for soft summer, then the Blueberry Sorbet is going to be best for light summer, and then the Berry Sorbet is going to be great for cool summer. And they're really beautiful. I'm glad to have all of them in my collection. With the exception of Violet Knit, I feel like these are going to best serve fair skin and Violet Knit. You might be able to work this up to a medium skin tone, but still proceed with caution because I feel like it might pull a little grayish on the skin. And I was mistaken. At first, I thought this was a Dayseek palette, but this is actually from another Korean beauty brand. This is called Wake Make. This is the Mix Blurring Volume Blush in number 2, Mood Cool. I have to say, even though this is just clear acrylic packaging, I love the waved pattern on this. It's very pleasant. It is quite stiff when you go to open it, but inside you have a mix of 3 colors. So you have a light, a dark, and then more of this mid blended shade. But for this one, I just mix them all together. So just take some from down here. I'm gonna swatch it right here. This is a really beautiful shade. It almost makes me feel like you just kind of mixed all of the other colors together to get this shade. It is a really nice cool toned blush that has a muted property to it. I feel like this would work best for a cool, true summer or cool, true winter. Really beautiful. And the Wake Make powder formula is really pleasant to work with. Finishing off my blushers, I have cream blush. So let's just grab from random. So first off, we have the new and rather trendy Makeup by Mario Soft Plumping Blush Veil in the shade Pinch Me Pink. Now, when I first purchased this, I was so in between Pinch Me Pink and Perfect Pink, and I still debate on getting the shade Perfect Pink. Pinch Me Pink is going to be more of a neutral pink. I don't feel like it pulls overly warm. I don't feel like it pulls overly cool, and it has a nice brightness to the base, which I feel like this works really well as a pink virgin on coral hybrid shade for light summer. Really pretty. So Makeup by Mario, Soft Plumping Blush Veil, and Pinch Me. Okay, this is reflective. We're gonna get this out of the way. This is the only Patrick Ta blusher I have, and this is called the Double Take Creme and Powder Blush, and She's a Doll. Look how beautiful it is. So up top you have a cream, and on the bottom you have a powder. I've used this once because I find it, I have to be so careful with it because it is so pigmented. So I'll swatch the cream first. So here is the cream shade. Really beautiful. I feel like this is almost a winter only shade because it has so much base color. It is strong. It's beautiful. A summer, especially a true summer, can blend this out to make this work, but this cream color, she is intense. And the powder shade, I find to be just as vibrant. This is like a great Barbie pink shade for darker skin tones that find something like the Dior Rosy Glow Blush to be too pinky white and pulls a little ashen on the skin. This is going to really help with that. For me, with fair skin, I find I can make this work, but you have to use so much restraint because a little bit goes a long ways and it can turn clown cheeks very quickly. And it's something I want to keep playing with because I love it and I wanted one of these color waves so badly for such a long time. So Patrick Ta, Double Take Creme and Powder Duo, and She's a Doll. And this is best for a cool, true summer, or even better, cool, true winter. Actually, you know what? I feel like I'm going to move this Patrick Ta duo to my true winter collection. We have a cream blush from the brand LYS. This is called the Higher Standards Satin Matte Cream Blush in the shade Self Love. Really interesting putty formula. For a cream, it is a little bit stiffer, but you start to warm it up, really work with it, it begins to melt, and it's so easy to work with. Look at this. This is the definition of a soft, muted color. It looks warmer on skin than it does in the pan. That's why swatching is so important. And looking at it swatched, I feel like this might still be too warm for a soft summer. I feel like this is almost better for a deep, depending on your skin tone, I feel like this is a good shade for a deep autumn or a soft Soft Autumn. So I'm going to move the LYS Cream Blush in the shade Self Love to my Autumn drawer. Yeah, I don't know. I'm almost second guessing myself, but I do see a yellow base, especially looking at this vibrant blue pink. Like you can see the blue in here and even in the Makeup by Mario, even that had a little bit of peachy pink aspect to it. And you can see some of that yellow. This feels more warm than either of those. So yeah, I feel comfortable moving this to my Autumn blushers. A little blusher that just makes me so happy. This is the Essence Baby Got Blush. And I believe the shade is called, yes, it's 010 Tickle Me Pink. One caveat about this formula off the bat is it has a very strong Jolly Rancher-esque bubblegum flavor. It's like a candied watermelon bubblegum scent. But the color is so pretty. This is, wow, you can already smell the kind of bubblegummy aspect, candy aspect to that watermelon scent. But this is more in line of a bright pink than the Patrick Ta for a light summer. It's like almost like a fusion of the Makeup by Mario Pinch Me Pink and the cream color from the Patrick Ta She's a Doll. I love this. When this little one runs out, I will repurchase. And its Essence, I believe this was like $4.99 at Shoppers Drug Mart. Such a win. And another formula I was so curious to try out, and I've mentioned this in a video. This is the Merit Flush Balm in the shade Stockholm. I have seen people rave about their love of these blushers, and I just couldn't find a shade that I was ready to buy. Like there was the berry shade, I think it's called like Raspberry Beret or Berry Beret, something like that. And then there was a more muted pink shade, but neither of those made me pull the trigger, and I really wanted one. So I purchased the shade Stockholm, and it's gorgeous. It is beautiful. It's similar to the Essence, but it's more cool toned. My issue is it looks beautiful here, but I put it on my face. It is gone in about an hour. Like I get a good 30 minutes with it with this intensity, and then it just eats away into my skin. I don't know where it goes. It just disappears. So I do continue to wear this because I love the color so much, and I love how easy it is to apply. But this is one of those colors I need. This is a blush product that I need to remember to put into my bag to take with me so I can reapply throughout the day. And this color works really, really well as a lip balm, as a nice kind of pinky lip balm. This is so beautiful. So this is going into my light summer, cool summer makeup. Well, I don't think this is supposed to be in here, but this is one of the newer e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wands, and this is in the shade Rose Quartz. Me and my best friend, we got together. She is pregnant with her second baby, and she's so excited. She's due actually this weekend. We do what we normally do. We were in Ulta, and we had both saw this and added the same shade to our cart. So I was like, it's a sign I need it. So let's check this out. I have not played with this yet. Does this twist off? Oh, yep, it twists. You got a little puff applicator. Does it turn? Okay, it turns. No, can I close it? Okay, I don't know if that's closed or not, but here, let's swatch this up here. Oh, wow. Okay, that is definitely a warm, peachy pink. Really pretty, applied easily. It looks reminiscent of the Charlotte Tilbury ones, which I think was kind of like the intent to be like a Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand dupe. I feel like that's gonna do better in my autumn makeup selection because even though it has this gold reflect and this gold shimmer to it, it still feels more muted. Like if you look at this compared to some of these more white-based blue pinks, it doesn't have that same vibrancy. So I'm gonna put this in my autumn color palette drawer. And again, this is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand in the shade Rose Quartz. Speaking of e.l.f., we have the e.l.f. Putty Blush in the shade Bora Bora. I used this just the other day going to a friend's birthday party because even though it's a creamy texture, it has a stiffness to it. And currently, Toronto, we are having such a humid, warm summer, and the Putty Blush formula stays on the skin. It shears down into a really thin stain, but it lasts and looks so beautiful all day long. Look at that. Again, it's like that Patrick Ta blusher, but it's easier to work with. Like this looks on my arm swatch. It's got a similar intensity to the She's a Doll from Patrick Ta. It's just easier to blend out. And again, I'm going to sort this into my light summer, cool summer blushers. Next, we have another product. I've used this in the light summer video. This is one of the newer NARS Afterglow Liquid Blush. This is in the shade Wanderlust. When I first saw this being advertised, I knew I had to pick up this shade because I love a good purple blush. Thank K-Beauty for introducing me to these more lavendery tone blushers. They are just so lovely. And the shade Wanderlust, it's like a really beautiful pink violet, or I guess that'd be a little bit more of like a magenta, but it is so pretty. Blends out easily. My only issue with this is very reminiscent to the Merit. I find this does not last on the skin. I get maybe an hour to an hour and a half, and then it just kind of disappears into the skin. I found with both the NARS Afterglow Liquid Blush as well as the Merit Flush Balm, if I apply them on top of a powder and then set them with a coordinating shade of powder blush, I do get a little bit longer, but the color will still gradually fade throughout the day, which is not always a bad thing. I really enjoy them, and you know, for as easy as they are to apply, I would keep them. I don't know why I'm hanging onto the box. I've already taken pictures of this, so I'm gonna let the box go, and I'm gonna keep the NARS Afterglow Liquid Blush in Wanderlust in my light summer, cool summer blushers. Now, something I purchased at the same time I purchased the NARS is this Juvia's Place Blushed Liquid Blush in the shade Blushed Lily. I have heard nothing but great things about Juvia's Place, and if I'm not mistaken, they are a brand who focuses their color products more towards deeper skin tones. So that should have been an inclination that this color or this blusher going to have some major pigment, because these cool, light, blue-based pinks, to show up on a deeper skin tone without looking gray or ashy, they need to have some opacity to really show up, because this is going to be a very intentional color. And when you apply this, you need to, if you have fair skin, scrape it off if you need to, even take a tissue or something, wipe off the product, because even the residual on here is going to be too much. This has pigment. And if we think back to like the early years of YouTube, that was like the big keyword. Everything is, it's so pigmented, it's so pigmented. You don't always want everything to be so pigmented, because it's gonna make it harder to work with. Oops, okay, that's way too much. But here you can see what it looks like with more product. So look at that. It looks like we haven't even really attempted to spread it. It spreads and spreads and works. And if you have a deep or rich skin tone and you want this Barbie pink color to show up with vibrancy, to have potency, this is the color for you. This is the Juvia's Place. Looks like we've got some product that is wanting to go all over. So if you want a light pinky color to go on and last all day, give this a go. If you have fair skin and you love this color and you want to work, you want to support the brand, I would recommend mixing a tiny dot of this with your foundation or concealer and then applying it. It makes it a lot more workable without worrying about pigment overload. I love this. I love that there's brands out there creating colors like this for skin tones who can be left out of these trends. If I was still a freelance artist, this is something I would definitely want to stock in my kit for different skin tones. So beautiful. And again, this is just something I'm hanging onto the boxes because I think the artwork is so beautiful. So I am going to sort this color into my light summer or cool true summer blushers. And that might raise a few flags because there's some people saying that, you know, a light summer is only someone with fair skin, super blonde hair, but it's relative to the ethnicity. What is a light summer for a Caucasian will look different for an East Asian, a South Asian, someone of African descent, or someone from Latin America. It's going to look different for different ethnicities. So these color palettes are all relative to the overall scope of color. So this would be great for a deeper skin tone, light summer, or a cool summer. And if you're saying it's got a lot of pigment, wouldn't it work for a winter? It could work for a winter, but I feel like it's almost too pastel for a winter. It might not give that kind of flush or blood rushed effect to the cheeks that a winter might need. Another product that I have not tried out. This is something I purchased off Amazon when I was in the US. This is the Apu Juicy Pang Blusher in PK01. Let's see if this tells me on the product itself what PK01 is. Okay, so I am not sure what the actual name is, but the number is PK01. And these are fascinating because they are liquid blushers, but they look like a nail polish. Oh wow, that looks like a fairly warm pink. Oh wow. Okay, so this is gonna be like a warm coral pink. Oh wow, it feels so cushiony on the skin. This could work for a light summer, but I feel like this would look best on a light spring or a soft spring. So pretty, very sheer, very buildable. Okay, this is gorgeous. I'm gonna move this to my light spring, but I feel like it's a color I might still dig out and work with because because I love colors like this. I've said in some other videos that coral is a color I struggle to work with because I feel like even like this nail color, it looks so foreign on my skin in my opinion, but I love it so much. I think these are being discontinued and I've just had this way too long. This is the Tarte Breezy Cream Blush in the shade Pink Sky. Oh yeah, it feels very dry. Here it is. It's a muted pink. This is again one of those colors that would work well for soft summer, soft autumn, deep winter. I don't like it. It feels dry. The color was never quite right for me, and I've had this since I think the first month of my YouTube channel. So that would have been January 2021. I'm going to just throw this one because it's been around for a little too long and it feels dry. I think we're going to do one more before I clear this arm off. This is from Honest Beauty, and if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw on Jen Phelps' YouTube channel. Honest Beauty has some new colors that look beautiful that I would really love to try out. This is the Creme Cheek Plus Lip color in the shade Rose Pink. Rose Pink is a really beautiful color. I'm going to put this one right down here. It's fairly neutral, leaning on a slightly warmer side. Here, surrounded by the cooler tones, it's not going to pull as warm as the Sky Pink from Tarte, but it's definitely not as cool as some of these cool blue pinks. And compared to Self Love from LYS, this makes the LYS look more cool toned. Ooh, actually, okay. You know what? I've worn this before and I feel like this does work well for a soft summer look, but I feel like this is more of a soft summer, soft autumn blush. It's going to definitely feel too muted to really work to the best potential on a deep winter or a deep autumn. I'm going to put this in the soft summer blushers. Now we have this little cutie. This is from the brand Lily by Red, and this is another newer to me Korean beauty brand. And this is the Love Beam Cream Cheek, and this is shade number 02. I want to say it's called like Delicate Pink or Nice Pink, maybe even Youth Pink, not sure, but it's number 02. And this is interesting. This does feel a little dry when you first touch it, but as you warm it up, work it, it's like the top layer melts and you get this really beautiful milky strawberry milk-esque pink. It's like a milky Pepto-Bismol pink. It has a strong white base that kind of lifts itself off the skin. It really comes forward when you're looking at it, and it has a nice kind of blue lavender undertone. Really nice. It blends out really easily, wears like a dream all day long, and it's just fun to use. So Lily by Red, Love Beam Cream Cheek, and number 2, light summer color, true summer color. Next we have the Laura Geller Italian Marble Blush Stick, and this is in the shade Pink Fiore. Oh, that's a really pretty, really lively pink. Definitely warmer compared to the Lily by Red shade, but I don't feel like it's warm enough to be considered a true warm tone. This would almost be like on the neutral side, but I feel like depending on your skin tone, like my skin tone on the underside of my arm especially is more cool toned. I feel like this color on a warmer skin tone might pull a little cool toned, but on me, since I'm a little bit more on the cool side, it's going to look more neutral warm. Really beautiful, and this is going to be a really beautiful shade for your light spring, light summer, bright spring, bright winters. Really pretty shade, and this shade is super blendable. I just need to remember to reach for it more because it's really good, and when I first got it, I used it a ton. This is one that I've just been hanging on to, but I need to let go of because this is shamefully old. This is a Nude Sticks Nudies all over face color in the shade Bareback. Oh yeah, it does not smell nice, and it's a cool neutral pink beige. It's definitely a soft summer, soft autumn color. It just does nothing for me. It ends up making me look almost washed out and like I need to put more blush on. And yeah, it's pretty. If you're a soft summer, I would say try it, but for me, I'm going to again just throw this away because it's too old and the color does not work for me. Although I like it in harmony with the other two blushers. That's quite pretty. Ooh. We have the Tower 28 Beach Please in Office Hours. This, I remember reading, this was the mauve shade for the Beach Please line, and I struggle with this color. It's a lot more pigmented than I was expecting, and it ends up pulling warmer than I I expected. Like, this definitely feels warmer in my opinion than especially these two up here. I feel like it's about as warm as the bareback shade from Nude Sticks. But it's nice. It's very emollient. I find this does not want to dry down at all, and it gets very sticky and it can come off. But if you have a normal to dry skin type and you are a soft summer or a deep winter, and also that would work for deep autumn or soft autumn, I feel like this is a really pretty shade to work with. I have seen some newer shades come out in this formula, but the Tower 28 blushes, I think they're really pretty. I've just never felt compelled to keep buying shades to find the like perfect shade for me. I mean, one, I have a ton of other things, so other products speak to me more than this formula. That is my thoughts on the Tower 28 cream blushers. These keep looking at me, so let's go ahead and give them a swatch. This is another formula that I like. I have purchased quite a few of these, and these are the two I have left in my collection because these are the ones that have worked best for me. These are the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blushers. I have the shade Encourage and I have the shade Hope, which I think these both came out when they did their first shade expansion. So the first shade we're gonna look at is Hope. Oh wow. Hope is almost in dupe territory for Office Hours from Tower 20. It's a little bit lighter. It does have more of a peachy aspect to it. This is really gonna look beautiful on a soft summer, soft autumn. I could see this even working for a muted blusher on a light spring, soft spring. Really pretty. I wish this color looked better on me than it does, but I think it's gorgeous. And then I just recently used this in my cool summer video. This is the shade Encourage. So here is Rare Beauty Encourage, Rare Beauty Hope. This is definitely muted. This is going to feel much cooler toned compared to Hope, but this is still going to be in, I'm going to still categorize this as a soft summer or a cool summer blusher. I feel like this is almost too muted and too gray base for a true cool winter, but used as a base, sheared out, I think it could work really well. I feel like this would also look really beautiful on a deep dark winter. Both of these are going to be sorted into my soft summer blushers. There is another shade of the Rare Beauty blusher that I want to try. I think it's called Happy. It's like the dewy finish, more vibrant pink, but I want to swatch that in store before I buy it. Next, we have the Tarte Maneater Blush and Glow Cheek Plump. This is the shade Pink. I think on the Sephora website, this is called Pearl Pink. I really love this formula. I saw they recently did a shade expansion, and the shades that I'm interested in look a little bit darker. So I feel like the shade Pink is, you know, going to be the best color for me, and I'm glad I was able to get the right color on the first try. So here is the Tarte Maneater Blush and Glow in the shade Pink or Pink Pearl. This is a really beautiful neutral warm pink, and I really like using it as a light summer on days when I feel lazy, when I want a blush highlighter hybrid that I don't have to think about. This is what I reach for. I feel like it's definitely going to be too warm for a cool true summer to think about wearing, so this is definitely going to fall into the light summer, light spring category. Next, we have the Flower Beauty Gel Crush Lip and Cheek, and this is in the shade Strawberry Crush. I love the way these smell. They have almost like a fruity candy smell to them that reminds me of like childhood, almost like strawberry shortcake dolls. I love this color. It is a beautiful mid-tone rosy blue-based cool tone pink. I really love this. It's a very emollient formula. I feel like for the more affordable price point, it's really nice, and I like having this in my collection. It's also great, as it says, on lips and cheeks. It's an easy travel bag or touch-up product throughout the day. So Flower Beauty Gel Crush Lip and Cheek color in Strawberry Crush. True cool summer or light summer. Next, we have a 3CE Sheer Liquid Blusher, and this is in the shade Soft Fig. Last year when I went to the beach, this was the only blush color I took with me, and I remember it was very like sunburned cheeks. Oh yeah, that is a muted, I would say muted warm pink. Hold on, let me get this swatch. What I love, this is a more sheer blush formula. It's very, very workable. It's also slightly dry to the touch, which makes it easy to blend. I do feel like this is going to be definitely warmer, especially now that we have like a muted cool color like the Rare Beauty Encourage. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, especially compared to Encourage, we can see some of these definitely look warm. I am going to move the 3CE Sheer Liquid Blush to my soft autumn selection. Again, this is the shade Soft Fig. Next, we have a Phytosurgence Skin Spark Cream Blush in the shade Fume. This is one of those products that I remember I was so eager to purchase, and I just kind of let it drift to the back side of the drawer because, I don't know, the color wasn't as enchanting on me as I wanted it to be. But now I realize that, you know, these muted colors are a little bit harder for me to wear because they almost look like I've tried to contour my cheeks with blusher because the color is so muted and desaturated. It almost pulls color back, but ooh, that's fascinating. Let me put a second layer on. It's interesting. It's pretty neutral. I would say it's neutral. Depending on your skin tone, it could pull warmer. Again, compared to the Rare Beauty Encourage, this feels warm, but I still feel like it's a good color for a soft muted summer, soft muted autumn, or as a good muted shade for a deep dark winter, deep dark autumn. Phytosurgence Skin Spark Blush in Fume. Next, I have a Holika Holika Jelly Dough Blusher. This is in the shade 05 Rose Jelly, and look how cute. This comes with a little air puff, and then down here you have this like cushion jelly formula. What I love is this is so smooth feeling on the skin. It definitely feels a little bit more of a muted warm pink, but again, I feel like this is a really pretty lively shade for a soft summer or a deep winter. So I'm gonna sort that over here. So I think I can fit the last 5 on here. So we have an Apu Juicy Pang Blusher, Jelly Blusher, and this is the shade PK01. Let's swatch this. I'm gonna swatch right down here. Really pretty mauvey pink shade. That's nice. It's very sheer. It's gonna be more buildable. Really nice, soft muted autumn blusher shade. We have a product I wanted for years. This is from the brand Jillian Dempsey, and this is the cheek tint in the shade Blossom. And you know, it's one of those products, I think it's really nice, but I don't know, it's very hard to build up. It's very much a true on tint, meaning you're gonna get a tint of color, you're not gonna get a full impact. It's very sheer. If you try to build it up too much, the emollients in the products want to pull the previous layer. So it's very good for a no makeup look, and it's a nice muted pink. It's gonna do well for like your true cool summer or soft muted summer. I feel like for a winter, this is going to be too sheer and not give the life that you need. Unless you're someone who does like a really deep, dark, kohl eye makeup look, I don't feel like this is going to really work well in a winter beauty arsenal. And that brings us to my final cream blushers. These are going to be the Bobbi Brown Pot Rouge for lips and cheeks. So the first one is going to be the first one I ever purchased, is the shade Powder Pink. And Powder Pink is something I remember I wanted because Lisa Eldridge talked about it in her No Makeup video. Really nice, neutral, leaning warm pink, nice soft summer, soft autumn color. I want to swatch these other colors. I might end up moving this to my soft autumn blushers. Next, we have my personal favorite shade. This is the shade number 11, Pale Pink. And if you look at my Instagram, I recently posted a swatch of all 6 of my Bobbi Brown blushers, and Pale Pink in the cream versus the liquid are starkly different. But here you have a nice cool toned bubblegummy creamy pink, and this is a really nice shade for a light summer or a cool true summer. I feel like this would do really well on a cool true summer, cool true winter. So Bobbi Brown Pot Rouge in number 11, Pale Pink. And then lastly, we have a new shade. This is from the recent expansion. This is number 34, Pink Flame. And for me, this is almost like a mid-tone color between Pale Pink and Powder Pink. This is going to be a soft muted summer color leaning into soft muted autumn. Also workable for a deep dark winter. So I'm going to keep Pink Flame in my soft summer drawer, and I'm going to move Powder Pink to my soft autumn. All I can say is wow. When I am recording a video, I always have my little database going off to the side on my iPad. And this is how I keep track of product links, as well as keep track on my website, any products I talk about on Instagram, YouTube videos, etc. It gives me a sum of all the blushers we talked about. So taking each blush product as one unit, so if it's like one of the Day Seek 4 color palettes, it's taking each of those palettes as one. I have 96 blushes. And that's just in my summer color palette drawers. That means I still have my winter, my autumn, and my spring color palettes. Now, that's a ton of makeup. No one needs that much. Some of the stuff is stuff I bought just for my channel, stuff I've been sent, and stuff I've been gifted. So this is a mix of everything, and I like having this more encyclopedic collection to share with you. This is more than anyone needs, but this can be a great reference for anyone who falls into the seasonal color palette of summer, or you like more soft, cool toned blushes. And this can kind of be like a shopping guide. Coming in the next couple months, we are gonna have something very, very similar to my website. There's lots of big plans in the pipeline, so I'm so excited. It just takes me a while because these are all like little passion projects, so I kind of go as I can, and sometimes one project will push the other one back a little bit, but that's how life works. If there were any in this video that you were just like, I have to have, I would love to know that. Or if there's a color that you think I need to try out, please let me know, because I love a good cool toned pink or mauve blusher, if that was not already obvious. So until the next time, I hope you're taking care of yourself wherever it is you are in the world, and I will see you later. Bye, y'all.